My name is Emilia Faraniza binti Muhammad Kabul, ID number BMF 2007064.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Ifranuddin Muhammad Azman and my ID number is BMF 2007005.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. I'm Nurbatusha binti Muhammad Ar-Rahman and my ID number is BMF 2007050.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Suhail Aiman bin Muhammad Saimi Al-Lezuki. I'm from DBF4D. My matrix number is BMF 2007078.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Syahmi Adili bin Adnan. My ID number is BMF 2007083.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Haziq bin Michael and I'm from DBF4D.
For our research, we choose investment product that Maybank and Maybank Islamic offered to their customers. An investment is an asset or item acquired with the goal of generating income or appreciation. The term appreciation refers to an asset's value increasing over time. When a person buys something as an investment, the goal is not to consume it, but to invest it to produce wealth in the future. An investment product is a financial product offered to investors that is based on the purchasing of an underlying security or group of securities with the expectation of a great return. Investment products are based on a variety of underlying securities and may be used to achieve a variety of investment goals. The aim for this research is to provide better understanding on the differences of investment in conventional bank, which is we choose Maybank, and Islamic banking, that is Maybank Islamic. We need to make comparison of banking operations based on their structure, system, documents, processes, and others. In addition, we want to acknowledge the sources of funds used for investment product in both banks in terms of contract, issues, and others. The main product for this research is an investment under the Sharia contract of Mudarabah.
Setting up Maybank and Maybank Islamic. First thing is about banking structure in Maybank. Mulai Banking Berhad or Maybank use the term job specialization or administrative division to determine the extent to which effort in an organization are divided into various works. Maybank is divided into 3 functional departments, division and matrices. Each employee should report their employment to the responsible chief financial manager. Maybank has a functional structure targeted at systematic employment where professionals are organized together. Employees with the same work unit based on the product or service, activities performed by the employee, skill level or expertise. In an organization, individuals are divided into specific departments where each division has specific function to achieve formal goal individually.
The banking structure. First, we have Datuk Muhammad Rafiq American as a CEO of Maybank Islamic Banking and Nur Shahrizan Sulaiman as a Deputy CEO, Head Group Islamic International, Syaiful Adli Yazid as a Chief Financial Officer, Ismail Harun as a Head of Global Banking Business, Idham Sabki Baharum as a Head of Investment Account, Azadi Jamaluddin as a Head of Community Banking, Dr. Muhammad Ramadan Fitri as a Head of Strategy, Azman Rizal Abdul Aziz as a Head of Risk Management, Muhammad Rusdi J. Yusof as a Head of Sharia Review and Compliance, Munawar Ruzaman Mahmud as a Head of Sharia Management, Uraizah Baharudin as a Human Capital Director, Group Technology and Islamic Banking, Azli binti Un as a Head Corporate Ledger Services, Rosmayati Ismail as a Head of Corporate Secretarial, Nek Joharisni Ahmad as a Country Head Dubai DIFC Branch, Ahmad Shariza Abdul Rahman as a Head Islamic Wealth Management and Business Development.
System in Maybank. Maybank is a Malaysian universal bank with key operating home market of Malaysia, Singapore and Indonesia. Maybank is one of the conventional banks that exists in Malaysia. Conventional banks are profit-making organizations that are not based on religious principles. Conventional banks borrow money from the depositor at low interest rate and lend them to the borrowers at high interest rate. In contrast, Islamic bank is not a money lending institution but functions as trading or investment house. Conventional financing is a financing scheme offered by financial institutions or banks which are not guaranteed by government agencies. conventional loans are given as per guideline issued by government-sponsored entities. This ensures that such loans can be sold in the secondary market. The services provided by Maybank are giving loans, providing insurance, saving money, and making transactions for customers, companies, and other organizations using three main types of banking system, which is first, service at the bank, second, online banking, third, mobile banking.
System of Maybank Islamic. Maybank Islamic Berhad, a subsidiary of Maybank, is the largest Islamic banking player in the Asia Pacific region. It aims to meet the challenging development in the Islamic banking world and will certainly meet Islamic financial needs with its wide range of products and services. Its leverage on the group system and IT infrastructure, as well as distribution network to offer end-to-end Sharia based on financial solutions across 407 Maybank touchpoints in Malaysia, as well as our overseas operation in Indonesia via PT Bank Maybank Syariah Indonesia, Singapore, Hong Kong, London, and Labuan. In Malaysia, Maybank Islamic is the domestic market leader in total asset, total financing, and total funding, deposit, and unrestricted investment account, as well as profitability across all key business segments. We adopt an Islamic first approach where we offer customer Sharia compliant product and services as a standard product. The services provided by Islamic banking is Mudarabah, and the main system of Islamic banking are takaful, financing, investment, and business banking.
Document for Maybank. Pursuant to the requirement under the B&M Corporate Governance Policy document, the internal control framework is present herewith outlining the key pillars of rules governing Maybank organizational and operational structure, including reporting process and control function and control. This is the document according to the Maybank used for their content.
Pursuant to the requirement under the B&M Corporate Governance Policy document, the internal control framework is presented here with outlining the key features of rules governing Maybank Islamic organizational and operational structure, including reporting processes and control functions. Under the leverage model, Islamic business operations are residing in Maybank Group. Hence, Maybank Islamic is similarly adopting Maybank Group risk management and internal control system with customization where required to address the bank's internal control environment.
The processes of build up Maybank. The Board of Directors of Malayan Banking Berhad Maybank view corporate governance as a fundamental process contributing towards achieving long-term shareholder value, taking into account the interests of other shareholders. Amid an increasingly challenging operating environment, the board continuously strives to refine the group corporate governance practice and processes to meet their challenges head-on, to ensure that the group competitive health both locally and regionally remain undiminished.
Maybank Islamic has in place a Sharia governance framework which sets out the expectations of the Sharia governance structures, processes, and arrangements within the bank. This is to ensure its operations and business activities are in accordance with Sharia, as well as to provide comprehensive guidance to the Board Sharia Committee and the management in discharging their duties in matters relating to Sharia. A sound and robust SC or Sharia governance framework is reflected by effective and responsible board and management, independent SC that is both competent and accountable, supported by strong internal Sharia functions comprising of Sharia management, Sharia risk under risk management, Sharia audit, and Sharia review and compliance functions.
I will tell about akad in Maybank Berhad. Maybank Berhad need not use akad because their contract based on non-Sharia compliant that goes against with Islamic law. Here is the list of non-Sharia compliant that Maybank Berhad use. First is business related to interest-based lending, such as supplying equipment, recycle to the person or companies that engage in interest-based lending. Second is business related to conventional insurance, such as supplying or service equipment and vehicle to a person or companies that engage with conventional insurance. Lastly is purchase of real estate investment. For example is invest in real estate that support a non-Sharia compliant such as criminal related stuff.
Akad Maybank Islamic. Akad is a design based on Islamic contract. There are several akad based on their Islamic contract. Mudharabah, this is a contract between the capital provider Rabbul Mal and entrepreneur Mudharib, under which the Rabbul Mal provide the capital to invest in a Mudharabah venture that is managed by Mudharib. Any profit generated from the venture is between the Rabbul Mal and the Mudharib according to a mutually agreed profit sharing ratio, which these financial loss are borne by the Rabbul Mal, provided that such loss are not due to Mudharib misconduct, ta'di, negligence, taksir, or breach of specific term mukhalafah al-shurut. Maybank product Premier Mudharabah account. The second one is qard, refers to a contract of lending where the customer will lend the money to the bank as a loan, where the bank is bound for repayment of equivalent replacement amount at the request of customer. The bank has the right to utilize the money for its banking activities and is entitled the benefit or revenues gained from the money borrowed. Maybank product is YP saving account. The third one is Murabahah, which is a method of sale with a markup price whereby the customer make a payment over an agreed period of time. Underlying asset for the sale transaction between the customer and the bank will be a specific tradable Sharia compliant commodity. Maybank product is home financing. Al-Bayina, under Bal-Ayina contract, the bank will use its asset. Maybank Islamic Berhad certificate similar to those are Al-Ina personal financing as an underlying asset for Al-Bayina transaction. Maybank product is micro I. Takaful, a Sharia compliant plan that covers repair of your home or replacement of its content due to loss of damage from natural disaster such as flood, typhoon, and also fire of theft. Product Maybank product is Etika.
Treasury in Maybank Berhad. Maybank service include foreign exchange, money market, fixed income market, derivative, and security product. Maybank play a key role in advancing Maybank's regional presence while ensuring a comprehensive and integrated strategy across the group treasury centers around the world. Here is the significant achievement recorded by Central Treasury of Singapore and Greater China. First is appointed by People Bank of China as an official market maker of RMB against SGD. Second, continue our position as the lending market maker of RMB against MYR. Third, complete the group first award-winning structured note issuance, thereby expanding Maybank's investor base in Asia. Fourth, award the best FX house as voted by corporate by Asian Money. The fifth is FMAM certificate of recognition for the most active FX bank 2017. The sixth is appointed cross currency dealer for THB MYR. Lastly is appointed cross currency dealer for IDR MYR.
The bank launched products that was in line with its strategy to grow its business under its International Currency Business Unit ICBU, which are Foreign Currency Commodity Murabahah Deposit I and Foreign Currency Commodity Murabahah Placement I. The first product is a Sharia-compliant liquidity management product to facilitate investors to mobilize their surplus funds into the Islamic financial market, while the latter is a management product that can be used to facilitate interbank transactions.
Now I will discuss about accounting and Maybank Berhad. It has consolidated statement of financial position. In this financial position, we have assets and liabilities. In assets, it has cash and short-term funds, deposit and placement with financial institutions, financial assets purchased under resale agreement, financial investment available for sale, financial investment held to maturity, loans, advance and financing, and derivative assets, reinsurance, Takaful assets and other insurance receivable. It also has other assets, investment properties, statutory deposits with central banks, interest in associates and joint venture, property, plant and equipment, intangible assets, and deferred tax assets, which total of all these assets 560.44. Then we have liabilities, which are deposits from customer, deposit and placement from financial institution, obligation on financial assets, suit under repurchase agreement, based and acceptable payable, derivative liabilities, insurance takaful contract liabilities, and other insurance payables, other liabilities.
Maybank accounting, we have the asset. The asset is cash and short-term fund, deposit and placement with the financial institution, financial asset purchased under the resale agreement, financial asset at the fair value through the profit or loss, for financial investment available for sale, financial investment held to maturity, loan, advance and financing, derivative asset, reinsurance, takaful asset and other insurance receivable, other asset, investment properties, statutory deposit with a central bank, interest in associate and joint ventures, property, plant and equipment, intangible asset and deferred tax asset. The liabilities item is deposit from the customer, deposit and placement from the financial institution, obligation on financial assets sold under the purchase agreement, bill and acceptance payable, derivative liabilities, insurance takaful contract liabilities and other insurance payable, other liabilities, recourse obligation on loan and financing sold to cagamas, provision for taxation and tax and zakat, deferred tax liabilities, borrowing subordinate obligation and capital security.
Definition for Maybank Malaysia Income Fund is Maybank Malaysia Income Fund is Maybank Asset Management Sendirian Berhad Bond Fund. The fund aims to maximize return over the medium terms and while at the same time offering stability of capital and regular consistent income.
ZEST-I is an innovative low-risk investment account product based on the Sharia contract of Mudharabah, where the funds are invested in a blended portfolio of banks' retail and non-retail assets to give stable returns payable on a monthly basis.
Maybank Malaysia Income Fund, the types of fund for this investment is income.
Mudharabah Investment Account, ZSI. Mudharabah, this is a contract between the capital provider Rockwoolman and entrepreneur Mudarib, which under the Rockwoolman provide the capital to be managed by the Mudarib and any profit generated from capital is shared between the Rockwoolman and the Mudarib according to mutual agreed profit sharing PSR, which the financial loss are borne by Rockwoolman provided that such losses are not due to the Mudarib misconduct, ta'addi, negligence, taksir or breach of specific terms mukhalafah asyurut.
Category of fund. The category of fund for this investment is bond funds.
Mudharabah Investment Account, this is unrestricted investment account known as ZSI. Under the Mudharabah Investment Account Daily Fund, where the customer provide the bank with the mandate to invest in the bank selected portfolio of Sharia compliant asset, which may provide customer with the potentially high return.
Objective for this type of fund is to maximize return over the medium terms and while at the same time offering the stability of capital and regular consistent income.
Mudharabah Investment Account, the fund aims to preserve capital while providing steady return through low-risk investment.
The fund is suitable for investors who, number 1, seek a medium-term investment with regular consistent income, and number 2 is seek investment with potential for moderate capital growth.
For Mudharabah Investment Account, individual or joint open to all Malaysian citizen and foreigner.
For this type of fund, the manager is under Maybank Asset Management Sendirian Berhad.
The managers of this product is Maybank Islamic Berhad.
There are three parties involved in Maybank. First, manager, the group president and CEO of Maybank. Second is the investor, the shareholder or the potential investor of Maybank shares and debt securities. The third one is the distributor, the institutional unit trust advisor.
Party involved in this investment is the customer as the investment account holder. It is Rockwoolman, and the bank as the fund manager. It is Mudarib. The customer will invest their money in the daily fund I. The fund is invested by the bank into a portfolio of the bank assets. The profit generated from the investment are to be distributed to the customer and the bank based on the agreed PSR. Please refer to the profit distribution frequency section below for details. This investment is tied to the performance of the underlying assets, and the principal and return are not guaranteed by bank. The financial loss associated with the investment are to be borne by the customer, whilst the bank may suffer loss in terms of cost and time.
The fund invests in fixed income securities and money market instruments to meet its investment objective of providing a steady stream income and potential long-term capital gains. Investment in fixed income securities comprise of corporate bonds with a minimum short-term credit rating of V2 or long-term credit of A3 by risk assessment model rating service Berhad, or equivalent rating by other agencies and government bonds.
Fund will be invested in a blended portfolio of the bank, retail and non-retail assets in varying proportion. This is low-risk investment to achieve capital preservation and steady return. Provide an opportunity to win price on a monthly and daily basis.
The period or term of Maybank is medium term, which means a period of 3 to 5 years.
The period is none, except for qualifying IAH for grand prize draw.
The sale charge for Maybank is up to 2% of the net asset value per unit, and this amount is negotiable. For the repurchase charge of Maybank is no data.
Switching charge. It has equity, sukuk bond, fixed income, balance and money market. For equity, it is up to 4.5% of amount switch. Next is sukuk bond fixed income. It is 25 ringgit per transaction. For balance, it's up to 3% of amount switch. And for money market is none. For notes, the above is applicable for all switching transactions except for asset where, other than for switching transaction into a money market fund, the sale charge of the fund to be switched into is equal or lower than the sale charge of the fund, in which case the switching charge shall be 25 ringgit only. This distribution policy is income distribution if any is declared at the end of the financial year of the fund or for any specified period at the manager's discretion, subject to trustee approval. Distribution will be made from realized income and realized gains of the fund. Asset allocations. It has two types of asset. First is fixed income securities. It ranges in minimum of 70%, maximum 98% of the fund's NAV. The second type is liquid assets. The range of this liquid asset is maximum of 30% of the fund's NAV.
Price draw. Eligibility or investment account holder IAH except for below. For joint account holder, the price draw is eligible to the primary account holder, Maybank employee who are directly involved in this product. Price draw criteria. Only active account will be entitled for the price draw. This is investment account holder IAH is not entitled to participate in the draw. Please refer to price draw criteria below. 1. Grand prize. One entry will be given with each incremental average daily balance ADB growth of 50 ringgit for each respective month. Maintain a minimum month and balance of 500 ringgit at least 2 months before the end of qualifying period for grand prize. Second is monthly price. One entry will be given with each incremental average daily balance ADB growth of 50 ringgit for each respective month. Minimum month and balance of 100 ringgit. Price. The winning prize are strictly not transferable and exchangeable for cash, credit or kind, either in part or in whole. Winning prize to be notified via website. In the unlikely event that the prize should become unavailable, the bank may substitute with a price of equal value the price and value, which is to be determined by the bank.
The key risks in Maybank Malaysia Income Fund. First is credit and default risk. Credit risk relates to the creditworthiness of the issues of the fixed income securities and their expected ability to make timely payment of interest and principal. Any adverse situation faced by the issue may impact the value as well as liquidity of the fixed income securities. In the case of fixed income securities, this may lead to an increased credit downgrade. Default risk relates to the risk that an issuer of fixed income securities either defaulting on payment or failing to make payments in timely manner, which will in turn adversely affect the value of the fixed income securities. Interest rate risk refers to the impact of interest rate change on the valuation of fixed income securities. When interest rate rise, fixed income securities price generally decline, and this may lower the market value of the fund investment in fixed income securities.
Notwithstanding that the bank shall emphasize on safe and minimal risk investment strategy to ensure preservation of capital and maximization of profit, customers should be aware of the various risk factors associated with Mudharabah investment accounts as follows. First, risk of capital loss. Any investments carries the risk of reduction in the value of purchasing power. Hence, the bank will only invest the fund in diversified assets with low risk attributes and apply sound investment management standards. Second, market risk. Invested assets are subjected to fluctuations in market risk, which may impact the overall income performance of the fund. These risks shall be managed by the bank in accordance with its overall hedging strategy. Third, liquidity risk. Such risk occurs when withdrawals or redemptions exceed total investment, which may result in a reduction of the overall net asset value. The risk shall be managed by the bank in accordance with its overall liquidity management strategy.
The possible outcome and fund performance. For Maybank Malaysia Income Funds, it shows in the table that the average total return of Maybank Malaysia Income Funds in first year is 6.15%, while benchmark is 2.84%. In third year, respectively, is 5.11% and 3.12%. In fifth year, Maybank Malaysia Income Funds decreased to 4.70% and benchmark is increased to 3.15%. In 10th year, Maybank Malaysia Income Funds increased to 8.35% and benchmark stay in 3.50%. For annual total return for the financials for Maybank Malaysia Income Fund is from 2011 to 2020 is 7.69% to 6.50%.
Fund performance. Customer may potentially receive higher returns compared to a deposit. The principal and the returns of investment are not guaranteed in the event the fund incurs losses or does not perform as expected. First, possible future gains and losses. Simulated performance data represent the net profit rate after applying PSR based on net yield generated by the fund according to OPR changes over the last 5 years. Benchmark risk is based on pure Mudharabah unrestricted investment account products on local market Malaysia. Past performance of the investment is not an indication of its future performance.
Our recommendation, after we learn the information about comparison between Maybank Islamic and conventional Maybank, especially about investment, we recommend and prefer to use investment contract from Maybank Islamic because Maybank Islamic use the concept of real profit and risk sharing that doesn't burden any parties involved. For example, in Al-Mudharabah or investment contract, the customer as the investor and the bank as the entrepreneur share the profits while making the profits, while the loss will be borne by the investors. This coincides with the FIC method, which means every return is with risk. This actual profit and risk sharing is fair and doesn't burden any parties involved. In contrast to conventional Maybank investment that promise a fixed return at the beginning of the contracts, with this investment don't involve actual partnership with the parties involved. The fixed return promised at the beginning at the investment contract is riba and haram in Islam.
The conclusion of completing this assignment, we can clearly identify about the differences between investment product in both conventional and Islamic bank. As we choose Maybank and Maybank Islamic, we learn about the setting up process will the bank. For setting up, we make finding on their banking structure, document processes, akad and others. The main difference that we can see from the comparison of those banks is the Sharia compliance used in Maybank Islamic. As we do research about their investment product, we acknowledge their sources of fund for both banks. We do some research and how they obtain their fund performance contract used and others to make comparison for both banks. As a result, we can finally come into conclusion that investment product in Maybank and Maybank Islamic are totally different on their operation and procedures.